Hey everybody, this is a vlog note. The city of Oakland deliberately held its message to the public, its news to the public, about how it was handling the process for the selection of the next mayor of Oakland, not in a public hearing. They didn't want the public there. And then KTOP didn't even broadcast it. It was left to two private media outlets, which did a terrible job. Oh, and I might add, the City of Oakland's Instagram page. So I elected to, because it's legal, pick it off and use it. The City of Oakland is hiding information from the public. It does not want the public to see it. It wants to say that, oh, we had the session, but it doesn't want your input. It should have been a public hearing. And you should ask the Oakland City Council why they did not make it a public hearing, and ask Oakland City Council President Nikki Fortunato Bas why she elected to hide the events that they're planning from the vast majority of the public simply by difficulty of accessibility. And with that, here is that meeting. Excuse me.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We're very excited to have you here for today's announcement and today's discussion about the City of Oakland leadership. My name is Sean Mocker. I work for the community in the City Administrator's Office as the Communications and Engagement Director. We're going to have some remarks from our Council President, Nikki Fortunato Bas. We have with us also today City Administrator Justin Johnson and Chief Assistant City Attorney Brian Richardson, available for questions. After the Council President's remarks, I'll come back up and facilitate questions. Please raise your hand and we'll take them one at a time. And with that, we'll hand over to City Council President Nikki Fortunato Bas. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. My name again is Nikki Fortunato Bas. I am Council President and Council Member for District 2. First, I want to say it has been my tremendous pleasure and honor to serve as Council President, as well as serve as District 2 Council Member. It's one of our most diverse districts in the entire city. I'm also deeply grateful to all of our city leaders and each of our employees for your dedication and hard work serving our beloved city, especially during a moment of transition. All of us in city leadership, we are extremely focused on our mission of serving our residents and businesses to advance our priorities of a clean, safe, housing secure, and fiscally sustainable city. And I'm committed to a transparent, responsible, and orderly transition of leadership. With that goal in mind, I've been working with our city attorney, as well as other leaders and branches of government, to plan a smooth transition and process, selecting Oakland's next leadership. By tomorrow, the Alameda County Registrar of Voters will certify the election results. And I believe it is in the best interests of the city to consolidate the mayoral and council District 2 special elections to a single date to save hundreds of thousands of dollars for the city of Oakland. To achieve this, I will submit a letter to the city clerk on December 17th, stating that I will resign from my council member District 2 seat, provided the election results are certified tomorrow and without subsequent challenge, and that would be effective at 11 a.m. on January 6, 2025. I'll go through the timeline of some of our next steps in selecting our new leadership. At our December 17th council meeting, we will declare the results of the November 5th election. It's anticipated that the City Council will declare the office of the mayor vacant, and I, as Council President, will serve as interim mayor until that vacancy is filled in a special election that's within 120 days of the vacancy. The President Pro Tem, Dan Call, will serve as acting Council President. It is also anticipated that the City Council will declare a vacancy in the office of Council District 2 based upon my notice of resignation to the City Clerk, and set the date for the special election for Mayor and District 2 Council Member on Tuesday, April 15. And then on January 6th, the newly elected 3 council members will be sworn in. The District 2 seat will be vacant, leaving 7 council members. And those remaining council members may adopt by motion of majority vote. They may adopt a motion by majority vote to appoint a person to serve as the District 2 council member. So again, on January 6th, the new 3 council members will be sworn in. The District 2 council seat will be vacant, leaving 7 council members. And those council members may adopt a motion by majority vote to appoint a person to serve as the District 2 council member until the election and swearing in of that council member for District 2. City Council will then on January 6th elect its next council president and president pro tem. The new council president will serve as interim mayor until the special election and swearing in, and the president pro tem will serve as acting council president. Again, on April 15th, the City of Oakland is anticipated to hold a special election for mayor and District 2 council member to complete the current term through January 4th, 2027. In regards to the District 2 council member position, I do want to say very clearly that my office and I are committed to continuing to ensure District 2 residents are represented and served on the City Council during this time of transition. I'll have more information to share by December 17th on the interim plans for our District 2 Council office. Again, it's been my extreme pleasure to serve District 2, and until that new council member is elected, I'm committed to making sure our residents and businesses receive the critical services that they need in partnership with a caretaker council member who understands the needs of our community. And I also want to say very clearly that continuity and stability is critical during this time of transition. Oakland's residents deserve for all of us to come together, for our leadership to be strong and effective, to be focused on our fiscal responsibility, safe communities, as well as our other ongoing priorities. We need to put Oaklanders first at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council President. Before we open it up for questions, I also just want to recognize and thank Mayor Tao's office for being here as well today. Thank you so much. We'll open it up to questions. Again, please raise your hand. We'll go one at a time. Please keep your questions to the topics that the Council President just addressed. And we'll start with the sign on the back.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So there's a scenario where Oakland could have 4 mayors between now and April. You're also facing a historic budget deficit. How important, or what will the impact be of having, so many mayors in place on the budget process and the cuts that have to be made, et cetera?
So thank you very much.
Thank you for that question. I want to be really clear that we are really focused on stable and strong leadership. I do want to very much thank Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao for her leadership. She has been working to address our budget crisis as well as increase community safety, and we are on track by the end of this year to have the lowest homicide rate, lower crime rates than previously. In terms of transition, it's critically important that the leaders who have been working with our city administrator and other branches of government on our fiscal sustainability continue to work together. And so I have been serving as council president the last 4 years. One of my primary goals has been working to balance our budget with the mayor's office and the city administration. I have been working very closely with City Administrator Johnson over the past almost 2 years on this particular budget. And so between now and January 6th, we intend to ensure that the same people who have been working on our budget continue to focus very strongly on addressing the issues at hand. And then on January 6th, the council will have an opportunity to elect a new council president to serve in the role of working on the next 2-year budget. So what we are clearly trying to achieve here is stability and continuity of leadership and a singular focus on our financial sustainability as well as the issues we know Oaklanders care about, including community safety.
Yes, sir.
Just trying to figure out the order on January 6th. So almost brand new council will start that day. And is there currently first question I guess, is there currently a process for finding candidates and proposing them for the interim council member for D2? Or will it have to be done on the dais? Like, will you do that as council president in between now and January 6th? How is all that going to work?
In terms of District 2?
In terms of the order of events on January 6th, will the new council president first be chosen and then follow into how to choose an interim, or will that interim process happen first? You just said it in the other ways.
Sure. So, and thank you for joining us, President Pro Tem Don Hall. So again, prior to our meeting on December 17th, I'll share more about how I will work with our District 2 community to ensure there's continuity of leadership as well as service. On January 6th, as I mentioned earlier, because the council district, on January 6th, the 3 new council members will be sworn in. There will be 7 council members. There will be a vacancy in the District 2 seat because of my resignation to serve on the Board of Supervisors. The council may by majority motion appoint a District 2 council member at that time so that there are 8 council members. And from there, what we typically will do is make a motion to elect the council president and the president pro tempore.
This is still the same question. What's the process for finding the candidates, proposing them, interviewing them, making sure it's not just someone who's standing in front of City Hall all day and wanted to do the job?
So again, in terms of filling the District 2 council seat, it is very important to me that that person is a caretaker for that seat, a caretaker for our District 2 community to serve the community. I will make my wishes known in the following week prior to December 17th in terms of what I hope to see in that candidate that will be able to take care of the constituents of District 2 as well as fully participate in the budget process, the biennial budget process that will be in front of the new council.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to follow up on that. So on January 6th, the council can appoint a D2 caretaker.
Correct.
First question, do you have somebody in mind?
Again, I am going to share that in the coming weeks.
Okay. And then say they appoint somebody on that day or don't, that person then could just hit the ground running, can then vote for council president, engage in all the activities of the regular council person on that day?
So I think the questions are around, and I think the previous question ties into the previous question about the order of operations. On January 6th, there will be potentially two vacancies that the council will need to address, and those will be, our recommendation will be that those be the 2 first orders of business. In which order they do it, whether they elect the council president first and then potentially appoint somebody, or appoint somebody and then elect the council president, I will leave up to them. But those will need to be the first 2 orders of business because we will need to know who the next interim mayor will be. If the council does appoint somebody to fill the District 2 vacancy until it's filled in the special election, that person will have all the rights and responsibilities of the council member. They'll be able to vote they'll need to get sworn in. So we would probably during that meeting take a pause, have them sworn in by the clerk, and then they would actually be able to participate in the remainder of that meeting and every meeting going forward.
So hopefully they're in attendance.
Yeah, I do. To the previous question, you know, our office will make sure we work with the council and the council president to hopefully have a candidate or candidates identified in advance of that meeting, so that there's some expectation as to what's going to happen.
There's also, just for the rooms in our audience's awareness, the State Attorney's Office posted last week a kind of a fairly detailed sequence that answers some of these questions that's available online now. We'll include it in the press release from email that out shortly. Great. All right, question in the back.
Yeah, Councilmember Bas, Council President Bas, you said that you would resign unless your seat is challenged on the supervisor seat. What happens, how would the challenge to the supervisor seat impact this process?
So if the election results for the Board of Supervisors of Banks are challenged, I think what the council president has said is if it's unresolved, that she would not resign, and which is understandable because you don't want to vacate your council seat unless you know you're moving on to another post. If that happens, the long and short of it is we would not be able to consolidate the two. If there were a challenge and Council President Bas ultimately won, and I ultimately verified that she won, we would not be able to consolidate the two special elections. The reason is we have bookends on either side for the timeline. We can't hold those elections more than 120 days from the vacancy, but we also have to give the county a certain amount of notice of what's going to be on the ballot. We have to give candidates a certain amount of time to submit their nomination papers. When you put those things together, there's really a 1 week window where the special election has to occur. So if we're unable to declare the vacancy in the District 2 election until weeks and weeks after we declare the vacancy in the mayoral election, those two timelines would be offset, and we'd end up with two special elections.
We'll do two more, and then we'll also do showing it time.
And I think what Omar's question was getting at was, would there be an application window or kind of a public application process beyond just Council President Bass's endorsement or other candidates who kind of emerge from Oakland City Hall?
The charter does not, all I can say is the charter doesn't require that there be an application process. I think we can work with the current city council members and the current District 2 incumbent to determine if that's something they want to explore, but it's not required.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And Ms. Baker.
This is all good and well, but the reality is Oakland had a heart attack. And it had a heart attack because it basically rejected its government. There's no secret that Oakland has a terrible reputation. And what are you going to do about that? Because all of this other stuff just seems that we're playing musical chairs, and there's going to be another group that comes in here that's going to be expected to perform miracles when miracles haven't happened around here for many, many decades. What are you going to do?
So I have to reiterate that we are here, myself as council president, and anticipated to become the interim mayor, as well as our city administrator, our city attorney, our president pro tem, who will serve as acting council president, because we are united in making sure that we can move forward as a city. We love this city deeply. We believe in the city. We will fight for the city. And so we are working to ensure that our leadership is strong, that we again are singularly focused on the issues before us. And those issues are making sure that we address both our current budget and our 2-year budget and the structural issues that have led to the projected deficit that we are working to address. So we are going to roll up our sleeves and make sure that we do that on behalf of the city of Oakland to ensure we have a strong financial future. We do have a special council meeting on the 9th at 9:30, where the city administration will present proposals for the council, and we can make the tough decisions that are necessary. And I do want to say also that in terms of community safety, we have been singularly focused, as has the current administration. We hope to share more information about the trend around violent crime, around property crime, which is trending in the right direction. That is critical work for us to continue forward, even as we confront the budgeting balancing in front of us. And my message today is that we are banding together to ensure that this city is incredibly strong, incredibly resilient, and committed to doing the work that we know Oaklanders deserve.
Promises made year after year after year, and the question becomes, how does that inspire anyone?
Thank you, Tom, for the questions. We'll answer also additional follow-ups as we close. Thank you all for being here today. Again, for sticking around. If anyone's got follow-ups, please do stick around and ask them. Thank you all for coming.
Let's quick follow